I'm Sherry Carter with the Backhoe loader team at Caterpillar, and today I wanted to show you the new cab that's on the F2 Backhoe loaders. We improved durability on the machine, but most importantly, we added a lot of things for operator comfort. So let's go ahead and take a look inside. So we're inside the cab of a 420 F2 IT machine. So let's take a look at some of the new features. We still have the tilt down steering column, but we've also added the telescoping feature. So that just gives a little bit more mobility for the operator. And you can store that away whenever you rotate around to the back. One big thing that we've added, and it's great for getting in and out of the machine, is we've actually moved the differential lock that used to be down here on the floor over to the loader joystick. So you'll find this on all F2 models. You'll find the differential lock here on the loader control. Looking out the front for visibility, when we introduced the F-Series model, we added about 7 inches of reach out of the front with the new loader arms. So what we did with this is we actually expanded the visibility out of the front, so you can actually see where you're looking now if you're doing truck loading applications. Looking out the front, there's a lot of new features. You can pull down here. This is a vent visor, nice and easy, so for the sunny days to keep the sun out of your eyes. So we've moved the radio over here to the front of this corner of the machine, so if you're operating looking out the back, it's easier to reach. We've also changed location of the speakers, so looking out the forward if you're doing loading work or if you're operating the backhoe, you actually have the sound coming down to the center of the machine. Just coming down through the side console, we have added a security system keypad. So really simple, it gives you a 4-digit code. There's 25 different owner operator codes that you can enter, and it just keeps your machine nice and safe on a job site if you need to leave it overnight. Down through here on the side, air recirculation. So if you're in a dusty environment and you don't want all the debris coming inside, just like in your vehicle, you simply just switch it to have the air recirculate on the inside, or if it's a nice day, you can switch it to have fresh air come in. So let's take a look at some of the changes that we've done on the gauge cluster. So for the F2, we changed the gauge cluster to give you a much larger screen. So for diagnostics, reading the settings, it's going to give you more visibility if you're sitting in the operator looking down to the side. And then some of the switches have stayed the same and some have changed. So starting from the side, we have the automatic engine speed control, which if you have that engaged on the machine, if you're operating the back, as soon as you don't operate a hydraulic function, after 5 seconds, it takes it down to about 1,300 RPMs, which is really good for fuel savings and noise reduction on a job site. The new switch I really want to touch on here is the Eco mode. So Eco mode is standard on the 420 and the 430 F2 backhoe loaders. And what it does is it gives you the same performance when you're operating in a trenching application. So as far as lift capacities and breakout forces, it's the same, but it does reduce your engine RPMs down to about 1,900. So you're gonna have a lot more fuel savings than if you're just operating in our standard mode. Over here to the side, safety switches, we have the hydraulic lockout switch. If you have an IT like this machine, it's gonna lock out the front and the rear. Or if you have a single tilt, it's gonna lock out the rear side because it's a pilot operated machine. So if you're doing any kind of maintenance work or anything or adding a tool to the back, it's a really good idea to lock out the hydraulics. On the side, you have your switches for your lights. And then up here in the corner, you've got a switch, continuous flow. We use continuous flow on the back end and the front if you have an IT machine, but on the back end, if you're using a compactor, what you can do is you can set the speed with the roller and then hit the switch and it'll maintain that at whatever you want to set it at. The other two switches that you'll see here on the side are for the hydraulic coupler. So we have a coupler now for the back end that you can change out work tools quick and easy without ever having to get out of the cab. We have relocated the pattern control switch up to the console. So if you're in the back, instead of it being down on the side where it was on previous series models, it's going to be here, and it is a lock switch, so you won't accidentally knock it into a different control pattern. The new gauge cluster, we also added some switches here. So these were on the F series, but we had moved them over. And what this will allow you to do is to toggle through the different settings. It'll take you through features like our auxiliary control function, where you can program how much flow is coming out of the auxiliary controls in the back. You can go through and look at different diagnostics codes. So we'll show you a little bit more of that later on, but all you do is use this just to go up and down. You use the arrow function to take you to the previous screen. And then you use OK to actually go into the menu setting. Now I want to take a closer look at some of the joystick controls that operate the loader. This, again, being the IT, has a different control lever than what we have on the single tilt. With the IT machine, we've moved the forward, neutral, and reverse switch up here to the joystick, but we've also maintained it here on the stock. One of the reasons we did that is if you're in truck loading applications, a lot of guys they've gotten used to actually using the side to do forward and neutral, but this is very similar to how a small wheel loader would function. The technology behind it is what we're really proud of, as far as it doesn't matter if you use this to go in reverse and you use this one to go in forward. It's going to take whatever your last input is. But to start the machine, you are going to have both of them set into the neutral position. So I've already mentioned that we moved the differential lock here to the loader control. This switch here on the bottom is a trigger. It's a kick down switch. So you hit it and it's going to take it down a gear. If you hold it, it actually puts it into a transmission neutralizer. So if you're going into a hard bank, you need to back off a little bit, you can hold this down and it'll do that. If you're operating a broom on the front of the machine, it's operated simply by using this roller thumb here. And again, there is a continuous flow switch right here on this front joystick that you can lock into the right RPMs. If you have a single tilt loader like a 420 single tilt or a 430 single tilt, you now also have a control for the third function that's operated by thumb roller. So it's located here on the side, and again, it just makes it a lot easier to operate that third function control. Okay, so now let's rotate around to the back of the machine. As we rotate around, just take a look at the improvement that we've got on the foot space. So there's a nice foot space for you to rotate around. Going to the back, we still have the two-piece window design. So I'm going to raise the lower window into the upper, and I can store it completely up above my head. So I have a full working area out to the front. We also have the side opening windows here, so I can put it in a ventilated position, just here to have a little bit of air come in, or open it up all the way. Now, for the pod control, of course on the 420s and the 430s, we've always had pilot controls, but for these machines, we've changed it in terms of how you can move the controls about. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my foot here, push the foot actuator, and it's going to bring the controls forward and backwards, but also in and out. So I can set it however I want to in order to operate. Other than that, the controls here in the back have remained the same from F to F2. I have a rotary dial here. So if I'm operating in the back, all I need to do is just position it to where I want it to control, and I can operate the back end. Switches, this is your horn switch. You have your two roller thumb switches, and then on this side you have a quick idle down. So the quick idle down feature, if I'm operating say at 2200 RPMs and somebody comes up to talk to me, I can hit this switch, it'll take it down to 1000 RPM, so then whoever I'm speaking with can hear me clearly through the window, so it's great for communication. Hit it again and it'll bring the machine back up. So a lot of good features, a lot of visibility, and really good for the job site as far as safety is concerned. So as I rotate around back to the front, I want to first talk about the area here to the side. So we've got a storage compartment that we've always had, but what we did on the F2 is we added some more sealing to the side. So if you want to put something in there, you don't have to worry about it leaking and getting wet. So a nice big storage area. And since we moved the pattern changer over to the side console, we have another storage space here on the side and two cup holders. So you've got a lot of places to put things on the inside of the machine. So there's a few features that we have on the new F2 operator station. So if you'd like more information about the F2 backhoe, please visit your CAT dealer. Thank you.